All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're starting in on chapter 7.7, which is just simplifying what we call complex fractions. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to see we have a fraction either inside of a fraction or a fraction over a fraction. Okay, that's kind of the idea. So as we get started with example 1, and if you guys can't see it in class or on Zoom, let me know because I can zoom in or whatever we need to do. When I take a look, I've got a fraction over a fraction in this case, okay? So what we want to do is we want to take the bottom one and multiply it by the reciprocal. So we're going to take that bottom one and flip it, okay? Back in the day, you might have saw something like this, like 1/2 over 3/4. And maybe your elementary teacher said, don't ask why, invert and multiply. Haha, haha, no. Guys, earbuds and stuff off, okay? So invert and multiply, we're going to invert this thing and multiply it. And then we do that so that these guys cancel. And then we reduce, the 2 and the 4 reduces. And we simplify 1 times 2 is 2, and then 3 times 1 is just 3. So we get 2/3 here. Okay?
So we take the bottom.
So that's the idea. We're going to take this bottom one. Okay, so I'm going to take this y over 16 and flippy flip. Okay, so now it's 16 over y. You can do it to the top and bottom, but that should just cancel. Okay, and now you can do one of two things. You can multiply across and reduce, or you can reduce and then multiply. It's kind of your choice on what you want to do. I'll show you an example of what you would do if you reduce first. So here, if I'm reducing the y to the 4th and y reduce to y cubed. And then 16 and 12, what does 16 and 12 have in common? What can we reduce that by? Yeah, by 4. So reduced by 4, that turns into a 3, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. So final answer, if I multiply across now, is 4y cubed, and then just 3. So final answer is 4y to the 3rd, and then divided by 3. Okay, so far so good. So we can do the exact same thing with this one now. So example 2, this reads 36x to the 4th over 5y to the 4th z to the 5th, and then divided by this fraction 9xy squared over 20z to the 5th. Okay, so we're going to take this guy right here and flippy flip. So now 20z to the 5th is on top. Guys, those are my z's again with the little slash through it. And then 9xy squared is on the bottom. Okay. So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to multiply across first? You want to do that and then reduce? What do you guys want to do?
Well, since we cross out the bottom.
We want to reduce?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can go ahead and reduce. It's kind of your choice. What I see is, first off, the 20 and the 5. Remember, anything on top reduces anything on the bottom. You can't go side to side. It doesn't work. But diagonally or up and down, you can go. Okay, so 20 and 5 reduce. That turns into a 4. Okay. I see 36 and 9 can reduce, right? So that 36 turns into a 4. I can't cross the 4s out because they're both on top. Okay. So I take a look next, I got x to the 4th and x. I can reduce this x and x to the 4th, so it's x cubed. And then I see a z to the 5th. That z to the 5th crosses that z to the 5th out. And I cannot cross the y's out. The y's are going to stay. So when I'm all said and done, when I take a look, I have 4x cubed times 4. That's 16x to the 3rd, or cubed. And then on the bottom, I have y to the 4th, y squared. What do we do with those exponents? Yeah, we just add them. Y to the 6 is 4 plus 2. Fantastic. So far, so good? Any questions, y'all? Okay. And we've done this before when it was like this fraction and then the division sign by that fraction when they're side by side. We took that second one and flipped it. So this is really just a review of that. Okay, so let's do at least one more of these, or a couple more of these. A couple tricky ones here. So now it gets tougher. If I look at example 3, now I've got binomials here. Okay, so I'm going to do this one here on top. This is x plus 5. If I look at the bottom, if I can factor, I should try to factor. Okay, so 6x minus 15, the first rule of factoring. We don't talk about factoring, no. The first rule is we're looking for a GCF. Yeah, I can take a 3 out, yeah. That leaves me with that 2x minus 5. And now I'm going to take this one and flip it. Okay, so I'm going to turn it to multiplication. I'm inverting and multiplying. So this 2x minus 5 was on bottom, now it's on top. And then x plus 5 is now on the bottom. Yeah, so karate chop, karate chop. Okay, and then when I look at my answer, a lot of times we'll say the answer is just 3. But Michael, where is the 3 at? It's on the bottom, yeah. So we got to make sure we keep it on the bottom by putting a 1 on top. So final answer, very good. Final answer, boom, 1/3. Okay, you guys okay with that? Not too bad. It's not bad. You guys know how to factor. Mostly, right?
No.
Come on. Factoring is fun.
It kind of feels satisfying.
Huh? Oh, come on. You can do number 5 or 6. All right, let's take a look at number 4. The first thing I notice on number 4 is I do not like how this bottom is written. So I'm going to rewrite that here. So it's y, and I'm going to put the negative y in front and then plus 3. Okay? This is what we call the additive inverse. Okay? So it's written backwards, and when you rewrite it, you can tell that it's leading by a negative, right? So what I recommend with this guy is go ahead and factor out that negative. Take the negative out and write it y minus 3. So if you ever see one of those, I don't think I have many of those on the homework. Just go ahead. If it's written backwards than what we normally see the variable first, guaranteed you can probably take a negative out of it. Okay? So now, questions with what I just did. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
You're okay? Okay. So now I'm going to take this guy and flippy flip. I'm going to take that y minus 3 and put it on top. I'm going to put the y squared on the bottom. Okay? Y minus 3, karate chop them. Boom. Y and y squared. Reduce. And now I'm left with negative y. But where is the negative y? So I have a negative and a y, but where is it? On the bottom. I got to keep it on the bottom. So final answer is negative 1 over y. Okay, so final answer. All right.
I always forget to put the, or it's like I'll take it, and I'll notice that like negative y, or I'll be like negative y over something. I'll be like, I forget that I just have to put the y.
I always forget the top, right?
Yeah.
You know, always ask yourself, where is the y? The y is on the bottom. Got to keep it on the bottom. Okay. All right, you want to do one more of these?
Yeah.
Because then we got to switch gears. There's another one we have to talk about, which is on the back side. And it looks so scary, but I promise it's so easy.
Let's do 6.
Let's do 6. Okay, I'm going to skip. So if you guys have your notes, I'm skipping over 5. If anybody wants to see that done after notes, I'm happy to do it. Okay. Number 6, let's do it. Teach me how to factor T. Teach me how to factor. You guys hate that song, I know. I'm sorry. What just happened there? We're having some technical difficulties in class. Our projector's not projecting right now. Hang on, guys. Oh, there it is. Sorry, must have pressed the button or something. Whoa. All right, so we teach, we need to factor this thing, right? Oh my gosh, let's factor. So I'm factoring 6x squared minus 13x minus 5, okay? When I'm factoring 6x squared and I don't know what to do, the first thing I would do is start looking at what kind of factors you have down here. I see I have a 2x minus 5. There's a chance that 2x minus 5 is going to be a quantity that I'm going to cross out later. So I wanted to go ahead and factor 6x squared as 2x and 3x. Okay? And then factors of negative 5 could be 1 and 5, 5 and 1, plus or minus, minus or plus. There's lots of different choices. But I'm going to go ahead and try that negative 5 here and that positive 1 here and just see if it works. Because again, I see a 2x minus 5, so I'm hoping it's going to cross that 2x minus 5 out. So outers and inners check. If I check this thing, if I do my OI check, I get 2x times 1 is 2x. Negative 5 times 3x is what, negative 15? Yeah, buddy, look at that, negative 13x. So it works out. That's what I wanted. That's my OI term. First term, last term, OI term. Outers and inners put together. Okay? All right, how do you factor 5x squared plus 5x, y'all? Sorry, I got my Wakanda draw, y'all. I'm from Watown, Wakanda. You guys know where Wakanda is, right? Island Lake. I grew up in Island Lake. My farm. I have a friend that's a farmer though, so that's why I can talk like that. Okay. 5x squared plus 5x. How do you factor that? Take a 5x out. Yeah. Woo. And now that leaves me with what? X plus 1? Is that right? All right, we're going to take this guy and flip. So we're going to take that 5x plus 1 and we're going to flip. So 5x plus 1 is now on top, and then 2x minus 5 is on the bottom. All right, we start karate chopping. What do you see to karate chop? The binomial 2x minus 5. Remember, binomials reduce binomials. Some people might say, well, what about this? Can we cross this out? Oh, it's so close, but that's 3x and that's x. So we can't cross that out. Some people might want to try to take this monomial 5x and reduce that 5x. No, that's a binomial. You take the whole thing or nothing. So final answer, unfortunately, is 3x plus 1, 5x plus 1. Don't FOIL those. My math lab will mark it wrong. Some of you guys had to send me.
Yes.
Some of you guys were trying to FOIL that later on and I had to give you points back.
I thought it would, because like I
So
thought it
don't
was at
FOIL it back.
first.
This is the answer. Okay, so do not FOIL back. Okay, questions, y'all? All right, we're switching gears. Put the clutch in. We're going to second gear. We're going to the last set that we're going to see. So I'm moving on, guys, from 7 and 8. 7 and 8 are pretty much the same thing. I'm moving on to 9, 10. 9 and 10. This is what you're going to see. Okay? So what I see here in number 9 and 10, this is what we call like a mixed fraction. Inside of a fraction, we call this like really, this is making me shudder. I'm having like a nervous tick seeing all these fractions here, okay? This is kind of like your English teacher. You know, if you are typing and and you don't capitalize your I's and your first letters all the time, and you don't capitalize names and stuff, oh my, your English teacher is freaking out. This is making me freak out, all right? So what I want you to do is go through and highlight your denominators. And I see 2 of them, okay? So I want to clean this mess up, and what I'm going to do to clean this mess up is I'm going to multiply everything the LCD. So these 2 denominators I want to get rid of. To get rid of those highlighted denominators, I'm going to multiply everything by 2 and x. And we're going to see what happens. Okay? This is very similar to what we just learned in 7.5, where I want to get rid of all the denominators by solving. I want to multiply everything by that LCD. Okay? Same idea. So we're going to multiply everything by 2x. So I'm going to do top and bottom by 2x. When I do the bottom, I got to distribute to both terms. So I'm going to put a 2x over here next to the 2 also. So every single term is going to have a 2x next to it. And now we're going to go do-de-do-de-do. We're going to wave our fingers. And we're going to do some math magic. And anything that's highlighted is going to
Cancel.
Disappear, right? Because we're magicians, right? The 2's cross out. And I get x times x is x squared. Look at that. Math magician. Look at that. 2x times 2. Now, those just multiply. 2x times 2 is just 4x. Do-do-do-do-do. The x is here. Cross that one out. And now we get 3 times 2 is what? 6? Plus 6? Look how nice and pretty that looks.
Yay.
Okay? Now, I would be okay with this, okay? You could technically factor out something on the bottom. What can you factor out on the bottom? 4x plus 6 has what in common? Has a 2 in common, so we could technically factor out a 2. And that leaves me with 2x plus 3. Now, that really didn't help me reduce anything. Okay, for me, I would accept either one of those. Okay, if nothing reduces it, there's no reason to factor it out. Okay, but if you're typing this in and my math lab is not accepting it, then try this one. Okay, they should accept that one though. Nothing reduces. So look how pretty, I mean, this thing, look how pretty that is compared to that. Isn't that looking nicer? Right? That's like your paper all nice and capitalized with all the right punctuation. And what's that new program that allows you to change some of your writing? Grammar, was it Grammarly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys use that or not? I've never used
only
it.
for like specific things. Like
Specific
it costs
things?
money for like
Oh,
for like the premium, for like the actual like hard,
like the actually
grammar.
nice program?
Well, yeah, for the grammar, like the actual grammar.
Mm. Oh man.
You can get on your iPhone. It's actually really helpful.
The iPhone works?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go do the old fashioned way, make my wife proofread it. How's that?
Yes, that works.
All right, when we take a look at the next one, so highlight your denominators. So this says 4 over x plus 3, and then I have 4 over x minus 3. So again, I've got, this is really like a mixed, this guy right here is like a mixed number. A mixed number is like 1 and 1/2, you know, it's just not pretty, right? So we want to simplify it. So we're going to multiply everything by the LCD. So we look at those highlighted things and we say, oh yeah, x. So we're going to multiply everything by x.
Not 2, or not.
Just x. X. So if you do it to the top, you got to distribute. So might as well put, there's really like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 terms here. Okay. Then we wave our fingers. Everybody wave your fingers. Do-do-do-do-do. And anything highlighted reduces, disappears. So this x cancels. I get 4 plus 3 times x is 3x. And then we go do-do-do-do-do. These x's cancel. And now we got 4 minus 3x. Okay. All right. If you want to try to rearrange that, you can if you want to like factor out. It's not going to change anything. I would accept this because nothing's going to factor. If you wanted to rearrange the top and then take out a negative on top, on the bottom, you get 3x minus 4. Again, that's really not going to change anything. So I would be okay with that. And I'm sure my math lab is going to accept that.
Or probably not, because my math lab sucks.
I know, I'm sorry. Fortunately, it's a Corona time. That's what we got. All right, let's do one more. One more? One more.
11.
So if this is as worse as you'd see, right?
Okay.
In this case, we see a binomial.
And we just times that by all.
Okay, so I got x minus 3 is my denominator, right?
Yes.
That is my LCD, is x minus 3. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x minus 3. So x minus 3 are the big fraction. When I do it to the top and bottom, I got to distribute to both terms. So I'm just going to put x minus 3 here and x minus 3 here. Okay, if you want to put parentheses around them, you can. You don't have to. Okay. All right, let's see what we get. So when I have x minus 3 times 3, you can write it like this, 3x minus 3 like that. Okay. Or if you want to simplify right away and distribute, this is usually what I do, is I'll go 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Okay. Here, the x minus 3's, they cancel, and then leaves you with plus 9. Put the plus 9 here, that's fine. You can simplify. Negative 9 plus 9 is going to cancel, leaves you with 3x. So the top is completely done now. Okay?
What about the top? Oh.
So this top is now down to 3x. So we can do it again. We're going to take this x minus 3 times 4. So if you want to write it like this, if you prefer, you can.
Well, how do you know we cross out that?
Because it's negative 9 plus 9.
I mean, for like the top one, because you just write it in another step.
This step?
Well, I mean, because like we cancel out the 9, negative 9 is 9.
Well, this one ends up to be 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and then there's this plus 9 here. That's on the top. They just, negative 9 plus 9 just cancels out. All right, so I've got x minus 3 times 4. You can write it like this if you prefer. I go right to distributive property. I go 4 times x is 4x. And then 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. I go right to that step, and you can too if you want. Okay. And then x minus 3 is cross out. And I'm left with this plus 12. Plus 12 there. So this is plus 12.
And they cancel each other.
Yeah, negative 12 plus 12 is 0, and you're left with just 4x. Well, this is a monomial. This is a monomial. These can be reduced, right?
1.
So these x's reduce and leaves me with just 3 over 4. So 3/4, final answer.
12.
Okay, nope, just 3 over 4.
12.
All right, do you guys have any questions? Do we need a C12 real quick? Looks not too bad. We'll do number 12, lightning fast. Here we go. What I see is this guy right here is y. If you want to think of this guy as a denominator, that's fine. You can highlight that big Y. The idea is I want to get rid of Y by multiplying everything by Y.
But why?
So I'm going to multiply top and bottom of the big fraction by Y. I've got to distribute the Y over. Okay. And then we get Y times 1 is Y. that highlighted y disappears, leaves me with plus 3. Plus 3. And then y times y is y squared. So final answer, let me write a little nicer, y plus 3 over y squared. It looks a lot nicer than what it started at. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it for chapter 7 notes. If anybody wants to see 7 or 8, I can continue on. If not, you guys have my math lab you guys can be working on. Okay. Let me stop recording.